Hello there, how's it going? Welcome back to the show. Thanks for clicking on this one. My name is Pat Dan, and today we're here with underscore DC underscore on r/Reddit gets drawn badly. They say I want to be drawn with the little :3 face. I'm not a big fan typically of that emoticon, but in this particular case, just seeing the individual in front of me, they are like a very :3 kind of figure, so I can respect it. Like, just purely based on, like, I don't know, the way they're kind of looking at the camera here, it's giving someone who, I should allow to use that emoticon. So I'm just going to let it slide this once. Any other time, if I ever catch you using it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Okay, had a little technical difficulty there. Couldn't get my tablet to work on the right screen. The little bugger is always making problems for me. It's like such a needy little thing. It's always constantly asking for more. I guess it takes after me a little bit in that sense, but we love my tablet nonetheless, even though it makes these little goofs and gaffs on occasion. We can deal with it because we're big people, grown adults around here, and we like a little fun. We like to have a little fun, so to speak. Yeah, I have a little bit of an update for you guys, just a little announcement. You guys are constantly worried about, my well-being, how I'm doing. You guys are just always asking me, Pat Dan, how are things? What's the next big thing coming up on your agenda? You guys are always worried about my calendar for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. Nothing usually interesting on there, but big change of pace. We do have a little bit of point of interest, on the calendar as of right now. Something that might excite you, something that might get you, what does titillating mean? Is titillating an appropriate? I don't know. I was going to ask you if titillating is an appropriate expression here, but you wouldn't know because you don't know what I'm about to say. Basically, I've been kind of alluding to having some like difficulties with these recordings in terms of like not being able to record for some secret elusive reason, right? Well, I'm here to basically tell you straight out what is going on with me. Why am I acting all freakish? I'm actually going on a little bit of a quick adventure, a quick trip. Not any trip that I have, not any sort of trip that I've been on before, because this is a little bit special. I'm doing an overseas trip, something that I've never really done before. So very exciting, very, very exciting stuff. It's just like a week long, so it's like nothing too insanely crazy, but it is, it is a little bit scary. It is a new experience for sure. Going to Europe for the first time as an American citizen, American bred and born and been American my whole life. It's like, what are they going to think of me over there? Are they going to hate me? They're going to throw rocks at me, pummel me with insults, which I guess that happens here anyway. So probably actually wouldn't be too big of a difference if that were to occur. It would probably actually feel just like home. So that maybe that's exactly what I do need. But yeah, big things. I would say the fact that I am the most worried about like internet-based things is really telling of our current day society, or at least my current day living situation, I guess, the way I live my life. I think out of everything that's going to be like a bit of an interesting struggle and a bit of an interesting change of pace for a week or so, I think the thing that I'm going to have to really contend with the most is the fact that I will be like limited on the amount of data I can use. Like I'm going to have to put a hamper on the amount of YouTube scrolling that I do, which is usually a lot. Like, you guys aren't going to believe the amount of YouTube scrolling I do. I checked just now to like see, how much am I really going to have to cut back? Like, obviously I'm probably going to be doing stuff. So it's like, I'm not going to be like really fiending for my YouTube the whole time. Like, I'm going to have other things going on ideally, I think. while I'm there. So it's not going to be like I'm sitting around like, oh no, I miss it. I wish I could be scrolling right now. But like, it's gonna be crazy for a Gen Zer like me who lives life on the telephone, to strip that away from me a little bit. Like, not even entirely stripped away. That's the craziest part, is that I like mostly still have the exact same access to it as I would normally. It's just like slightly ever so different, because I'm so privileged and used to the like unlimited data experience that I'm like, this is gonna be absurd. This is gonna be impossible. It's not, obviously. It's gonna be like very chill. Hopefully nothing too crazy. But like, still, it gets me worrying a little bit, like, am I going to be able to survive? Am I going to be able to survive without my unlimited data? I probably a pressing question on everyone's minds right now. Can't answer it because I haven't, gotten to, the plane ride yet. None of the traveling has occurred, so I couldn't tell you how it ended up panning out, but you guys, I'm sure, will hear an update whether or not I perished due to lack of YouTube shorts. Yeah, I also am a little bit worried about just like, I don't know, just the whole thing. I think it's going to be a little weird. It's going to be a little freaky for me, but we all got to eventually go out of our comfort zone, experience new things. I think, that the roommate situation that I found myself in is very weird. So I'm going, as it's like a school sanctioned trip. It's for a class, right? So it's like I'm going to be studying while I'm there. I'm not just going to be like going around causing a ruckus. Ideally, I'm going to be like kind of huddled up in like probably a room learning about whatever it is that we're going to be learning. Honestly, I don't even know. I just signed up because I was like, this seems fun. Let's do it. Don't really care about the topics at hand, could care less, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun, even though we're doing the majority of our time educationally, spending the majority of our time on education. I think it could still find the moments of excitement to be found over there. Yeah. I think the biggest, one of the other big challenges, of course, other than the data issue that we've discussed, is like the rooming situation. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm like kind of a horrible roommate. Like, if you are cursed with having to room with me, you're like pretty much cooked. I really don't know what else to tell you. Like, there's not a whole lot that can save you in that situation. Maybe asking for a new roommate would probably be, a bit of a saving grace type maneuver for you if you ever find yourself in this unfortunate situation. But even then, you can't have any guarantees that you'll be able to find a new roommate. So let me just give you the survival guide on rooming with Pat Dan. Basically, never like speak to me. Never like acknowledge me. If you acknowledge me, I'm gonna like be upset. You're gonna ruin everything, and then I'm gonna just crash out on everybody. It's not gonna be a fun time. I'm a big crash out roommate. No, I'm not. I don't think I would crash out. Actually, that's not true. I probably would, but it would be like a one-time thing. Like, I'd be like, oh shoot, sorry, bro. I didn't mean to like freak out. Like, I was just getting overwhelmed, kind of thing. I think it would be just a one and done type of situation. But like, in this particular case of, sharing a room with me, for those unfortunate enough to have to experience this, not very many people get to. So it's kind of, I guess, a little bit of a privilege, but also more so a curse. I think the best thing you can do really is just to ignore me. Cause I'm not a big people person. Like, I think in some scenario, if you put me in the right spot, I can be somewhat of a people person on occasion, but for the most part, I'm like a kind of the most of the time a people hater. If you approach me and are like trying to say, hey, what's good? Chat about the weather and whatnot. I don't know what people do. I don't have conversations with humans usually, but if you tried to do that, the response you'd get it would probably be like very dismissive. Like, more than likely, I'd be like, hey, yeah, thanks for chatting. I got another thing to go to, so I gotta, hang. Like, I'd make an excuse like that or something. Like, I'd try my best to escape. Any small talk scenario is just my nightmare. I hate to see someone speaking to me, which is really, it's sad to admit, but it's just the world I'm living in. So I gotta be upfront and truthful with you. Um, my future roommate in this scenario that I'm imagining. Anyway, I think one of the other biggest challenges of this whole roommate thing, which I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but I'm kind of like imagining worst case scenario, what could possibly happen, in the horrible event that everything goes wrong. I think worst case scenario, like I end up hating the guy, he ends up hating me, and then we end up like having a terrible, awful time. And the worst part about that is like you might be thinking, oh, you said it's for a class. Like, wouldn't you know your classmates? Like, is this not a type of situation where you've met before? Like, why would they give you a roommate that you could potentially hate? Very valid point to bring up. Very astute, actually, of you to say. I'm impressed that you were able to conjure that string of words together, to be honest with you. You're right. It is for a class. And yes, we have like technically met before. The issue is when I say met before, what I really mean is like we talked for like 10 seconds and you know how I feel like most like quick interactions with like two male presenting individuals usually go the same. It's yo, what's good? A little like maybe a dap, or a fist bump or something along the lines of that. And then you get chatting for a second, right? You're like, okay, what do I say? Do you play like video games, like whatever, like something lame like that? Like that's probably a go-to topic for the guys out there in the audience. I don't really know you guys that well, but I'm assuming that you guys are probably like big game enthusiasts or something like that. And then you get to a point very quickly where you realize I don't have anything else to say. What do I do? Then you like probably, if I had to guess, whip out the phone, pretend to be answering a text like, oh shoot, I gotta get this. Sorry, 1 second, something like that. And then you just never return to conversation and you just, keep to yourself. I mean, for us introverted individuals, that's like a commonplace series of events. I don't know about the rest of y'all. Like you guys seem to have other stuff going on. Like for some reason, you guys keep on chatting. You know who I'm talking to. Like I'm looking right at you, you freaks. You just keep on like talking about what, I don't know what there is to talk about, but you guys keep doing it. And then it just never ends. And then you become friends and whatever. I don't have that kind of friendship thing. I don't really know how that works. Anyways, yeah, I thought I would just give you guys a little peek into the mind of Pat Dan for a second, show you what he's thinking, what he's all about, because I know you guys are super interested in that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be. Actually, I don't know why you'd be here otherwise. So yeah, I was kind of making it out to be this crazy thing that you'd be interested in what I have to say, but I think you probably are. Otherwise, you would have clicked off at this point, which is why I, of course, don't have anyone who has not clicked off at this point. Really just talking to myself, which is true. Sadly enough, I hate to tell you, this is really embarrassing. What I'm about to say, I'm kind of like very scared to say this out loud, documented on camera. So maybe like, I don't know, turn your phone volume down if you're playing this out loud, and turn off your like memory maybe so you don't remember this after it's said, and we can just move on. Because what I'm about to say is like very confidential, high level stuff. This is going to sound crazy and you're going to hate me for this. So first, I took a nap today, right? I'm just going to preface with I took a nap today. Very, very standard stuff. That part, you're probably not going to hate me for. You're probably actually thinking, oh, nice, nap. That's like kind of mature of you, taking a nap when you feel tired. And it didn't, clearly, because you're recording this video, it didn't really go over too long. Like you were able to get up and do everything you needed to do afterwards. Mature decision. That is true for the napping part of it. What I did to achieve the napping state, you're probably not going to like to hear this. You're probably not, you might want to cover your ears here. In order to, lull myself to sleep, a bit of a lullaby that I use to get myself into a slumber-like state of consciousness was watching a series of Pat Dan videos on my cell phone while I dozed off. Okay? That is how I put myself to sleep today when I took a nap. Don't be upset. Don't be upset. I see the upset slowly beginning to form on your face. Don't get that mad. Okay? It's not that big a deal for a guy to watch his own video. It's not that. Okay, it's a little bit it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit, it's a little bit. That's why I asked you to stop paying attention and then you proceeded to pay attention. So this is really your fault that you're upset about this. Okay, you can't blame it on me. You decided to listen. But I did indeed do that. So I guess I have some small part in your upset. But I don't want to talk about it anymore. Yes, okay. Yes, I did. I did do it. I did this horrible crime that you guys are all, crazy upset about. Yes, I did. I fell asleep watching my own video. Okay, just freaking relax, dude. It's not that big of a thing, bro. Like, people do it sometimes. I'm sure all the big YouTubers watch their own videos and fall asleep to them sometimes, right? Like, it can't be just me. Other like big YouTubers in the chat, let me know. Do you fall asleep watching? Please just say yes. I don't actually want a real answer. Just say yes. Just comment saying yes. Don't explain. I'll know what you mean. Just drop a comment below, say yes, and make me feel a little bit better about myself. I was watching a video that is even worse. When you know what the video is, it's even worse that I fell asleep to it. I was watching the old original one take videos, this style of video where I just sit and draw and talk to the camera. I was watching the OG ones of those. And for anyone, actually no one's going to have seen them, so I'm just going to explain. Those are the worst possible videos that you could watch. They have like horrible mic quality. The drawings are like the worst possible that they could be. My commentary is just obscenely subpar, and it's like not entertaining in the slightest. I think it's like the way that you're probably thinking about this video right now. You're sitting there thinking about it, making your own, observations, having your own opinions that are forming currently. Those opinions, like, think about those, and that's how basically I feel about the original versions of these, which I don't recommend that you seek out because it will probably ruin your day. Maybe watch it like at the end of the day when you're about to go to sleep, so that like it doesn't ruin the entirety of the day and you just get a little bit of ruin at the very end, and then you can just sleep it off and it's all better. That's my advice if you want to seek it out, which I really recommend against. But I know some of you guys are real foolhardy and you've got your own, way of doing things. So I'm not gonna tell you exactly precisely how to go about your life, but I will advise certain things that I think should be done if you want to have a fruitful existence. So yeah, that's our thing, I guess. These glasses are going to give me a tough time. I hate glass. I know I talk about this every time I have to do glasses. I have very few topics of conversation I really recycle over and over, but these glasses are just not fun, especially because they've got an interesting frame shape. Like, usually it's just the typical, square frames. Like, when it's the square frames, I'm like, okay, this sucks, but at least I can do it because I've like done this before, so I can probably figure it out. But this is just an entirely new territory of glass. Like, it's just something that no one's ever drawn before, and I have to be the first? Like, you're kidding me? Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? It's just absurd. But I'm actually kind of killing it, so I don't even know what I'm that upset about. We're kind of exploring new territory, breaking new ground, doing new things. A bit like, I don't know, like an Indiana Jones type, but of the modern era. You know, those like urban explorers who like explore like decrepit abandoned areas, and they like try to be like cool explorer guys. They are cool explorer guys. I don't know why I said try to be. Yeah, I'm kind of like that right now, which I bring up because I do kind of want to be that. That's actually been kind of a recent musing of mine, is my thoughts about urban exploration. I've been searching a little bit across the interwebs of like, how do you become an urban explorer? How do you find places to explore? Like, where do you begin with that? Just, looking into potentially the ins and outs of it, discovering some new things, so that I could possibly pursue that journey on my own in my life. What I have found, what I have found is that there are like quite a few urban exploration resources, like places that just tell you, here, this building's abandoned, you could go check it out if you want, but it's all like, legally, I'm not allowed to tell you to go. Like, legally, I'm not telling you to go here. I'm just documenting something that supposedly, like, people are saying this might be abandoned. I'm not telling you it's abandoned. Like, I don't know if you go there and it's not abandoned, not my fault. I didn't tell you it was abandoned. I just told you people were saying it might have been. Like, I don't know. This is not on me if you go missing. Like, this is not, like, it's very, it's very much kind of a secret society type of deal where you don't want people to know that you're out here urban exploring, because it's like not allowed. You're not supposed to be doing it. And I think that's what makes it attractive, is you're kind of going under the nose of the law, a bit of a daredevil of sorts. You're kind of doing something that most people would be a little scared to do. And I think that to me is what I'm attracted to a little bit, is like the idea of being a daredevil and actually experiencing things that most others would be afraid to, because I have this desire to be an interesting person that I feel has not been fulfilled yet. So my searches for interesting person things to do have, of course, led me to this place. I don't know if I'm actually going to end up doing it. It seems very, very sketchy, especially because I have no one to do it with. I don't think anyone would be willing to, like, if I presented it to them, they'd be like, going to an abandoned building that we don't even know was abandoned, that we have to like make an effort to get to. Like, it's not, none of the places that I would go to are like, oh, they're just a little walk away. Like, it's like we'd have to make like a journey out of it. Like, not a particularly long journey, but like a journey nonetheless. And then we'd have to be like, okay, now we're going to scout it out, see if there's any way to get inside this place that we're not supposed to be getting inside. And we have to make sure that we're, I don't know, like wearing clothes that can't be picked up by cameras, because like if they have cameras, we are committing technically, like a criminal activity. So it's like there's a lot that goes into this thing, and a lot that I don't really want to rope another person into. So I'd kind of want to do it alone. I'd want to do it alone a little bit. And because of that, I'm a little bit scared, because I think if I got caught alone, it's kind of like, what are you doing? Like, are you a squatter? Like, are you trying to steal or something? Like, are you shooting up in here? Like, it raises a lot of questions as to the, content of my activity within this abandoned building. Most of the assumptions that they might make are probably worse than, what I was actually doing in there, which was just like taking pictures, doing cool stuff. The main thing I would want to do if I was to do some urban exploration is I would want to like film stuff for like a music video or a short film or something. Like, I would want to go for a reason, and I'd want it to be like a cool location to film something, or maybe just like taking pictures for like use as like environments in like an animated project or something. Like, I'd give it a reason. Otherwise I just feel too much like I was doing this just to test the reins of society and see if I was above the law, which I think is a little bit of it, but I don't want to feel like that's all of it. I am noticing, by the way, about the thing that we're drawing here together, I am noticing that the eyes are very, very off and very much not something that I'm a big fan of. I realized during the cat that I drew recently, I don't know if that one's going to get posted, but I recently drew a cat. If you don't see in the videos drawing that I referenced, just check the Instagram, because I probably have posted it there. Sometimes the recordings don't turn out good, but the drawings might turn out a little bit decent, like halfway decent. So I'm like, okay, I'll just post the drawing on Instagram, then I get something out of this experience. And then, I'll not post the recording onto the YouTube because it's not worthy of a post. So yeah, I drew a cat recently, and I gave it these huge eyes in an attempt to do something fun for once in my life. That attempt to do something fun for once in my life, great failure. It ended up looking like a Warriors cat fan uh OC or something, like it just didn't have the vibes I was looking for. Very like furry. And I like, again, I don't hate the furries. It's just like not a artistic vibe that I love. The vibe of the furry. It's just kind of like it feels very surface level and not entirely intentional. Like it seems like an almost accident the way that the thing I made came to be. It looks like I accidentally just conjured it instead of like purposefully made choices to put down lines. And that's not really my intention. I want things to look like they were made on purpose usually. So, yeah, that's just about as far as I'm willing to go in terms of the eyes is this, because I think any further than this and it would look completely crazy, which it kind of does, to be fair. But I think it's almost passable. I just need to, I need to pull it back a little bit, not a lot of bit, just a little bit, just so that I can really get more of a human sense and not an anime sensibility. I don't know. I'm not an anime hater. Love a little anime in my life, but like it's not my thing. Artistically, when I'm making something of my own, I want to kind of create a style that is my own. Anime is not necessarily that. So yeah. In any case, it's all got for you today. Thank you so very much for your time. I've been Pat, and you've been great. Until next time, kick rocks, pal. Bye bye.